47-year-old Nathaniel Askia, bright, level-headed, a social service administrator in the Grove Hall section of Boston, a former heroin addict whose life became a train of needles and prison terms until he decided to get off and begin helping others to kick the habit.
I would be in the process of using drugs and say to myself that I'm not going to be doing this forever. I don't know, I didn't know how I was going to do it at that time, but the thought in my mind that this cannot be a part of what I do for the rest of my life.
Askia is the executive director of First Incorporated, one of the oldest and largest drug rehabilitation programs in the state, and the only black-run organization of its kind in Massachusetts.
We sort of look at it as what we're doing is saving a life. We are doing a whole rebuilding of a person psychologically when you go into our treatment facilities. They are already drug-free physiologically, so we start from that point dealing with detoxing them psychologically.
This is the 20th anniversary of First Incorporated, an ever-expanding operation of residential, outpatient, and prevention services that began as a support network for a handful of Deer Island inmates who believed they could change the world, or at least a small corner of it.
We were hoping that at this date that we would have worked ourselves out of a job. That's how idealistic we were in terms of the kind of impact we would have upon drugs in our community. So we were so idealistic in that area that we thought about the day that the drug dealers would come to us to threaten us because we were rehabilitating so many of their customers. That was very idealistic.
First operates programs in 3 buildings in the heart of the minority community. A 4th building is under renovation and set to open this summer. But as the organization grows, so does drug use. They have to turn people away, and even those who do get in don't always succeed, but many of them do.
We got people that are social workers in the State Department of Social Services. We got teachers. We got one person that graduated from our program that's teaching aviation and flying planes himself. So we got people that have once stood on the corners, bought drugs, and was involved in another whole element that's doing some very, very positive things there and contributing to the well-being of this community.
At first, 3/4 of the people they treat are addicted to cocaine. And aside from a drop in price, Askia traces its popularity in the black community to one man, a 1972 cult figure who gave the word blow a whole new meaning.
We got anything to eat, man?
The movie Superfly did more to set back the progress of black males than any movie I can think of. Here was the hero of this picture that had a vial of coke tied around his neck. He was famous in the black community for his ability to move cocaine. The TV series Miami Vice has contributed to the glamorous situation around cocaine. The media have a tendency to put it out there in a glamorous form, then that same media, once the problem becomes immense, that same media try to come back to try to do something about the problem that they had a great part in establishing or creating.
He experimented with drugs when he was a teenager. At 19, he was hooked on heroin. The drug made him legally blind by age 27 before several operations restored his sight. Askia has endured the hard lessons that he hopes today's young people will never learn.
There's a song that sort of like sum up how I feel about that. And the words go, says, there's a great big man who died of a disease with a small name. His girlfriend found the needle, and she began to do the same.
At home, there are 17-year-old boys, and their idea of fun is being in a gang called the Disciples, high on crack, toting a machine gun.
There's a lot of truth in that song, and it concerns me.
For the 10 o'clock news, I'm Marcus Jones.